We're live. What does that say?
Welcome to live chat.
Guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. That's new.
Yeah.
They must see you and go, we better warn them.
Guard your privacy.
Guard your privacy and abide by the community guidelines. Do they think that you're not going to abide by the community guidelines? I think that's the case.
I might not.
That's the first time that has come up. Wow, we are way overexposed. What is the deal? We're like, bright. You guys, that's because, do you see this out there? Sunshine. Sunshine. Makes me so happy. And I have some throat coat tea today because I have been having a little bit of a cold, a little bit of a sore throat, and this has been helping me get through it. I don't really feel sick or anything. I just kind of feel, I don't know. And maybe with Dave here, maybe he would talk a little and I could actually drink some, which would be nice. All right, just a heads up, everyone. I did have some criticism on my last live chat, and while I did kind of roll my eyes a little bit, I do take criticism under advisement, and I decided that it probably would be a good idea to mention to any of you who might be coming into this chat to listen to specifically the subject that I'm going to talk about. Usually I don't get to that for a little while. Usually I get to that probably between 5 and 15 minutes in, depending on the chat. So if you're here just to listen to that, you may want to fast forward and see if you can find it. Usually at the beginning of my chats, I like to just say hello to everyone and maybe talk about the weather. Maybe we'll talk about the weather for a little bit until we have at least 30 people here, but it looks like we might actually make that early today. We've got 28. If you're here, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Close the chat for a second. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know you love us. Thank you. I see another thumbs up. And we will get started on talking about our subject really quickly. But can I just say, it's going to be light out until 6 o'clock tonight.
She's a big
6
fan
o'clock!
Of summer.
I don't enjoy the winter, and when the sun starts lasting a little longer, I get happier. I get much happier. All right, so let's see who's here. I see a few of you. In my opinion, I say welcome. It's good to have you on my channel. PJB Burke is here. Good morning. Actually, it's not really morning for you guys, probably. It's 11 a.m. for us. Depends on where you are, I guess. Patty Montero, hello. She says it's nice to see you here.
Right.
It is nice to have him here. Karen Rothwell is here. She is one of our moderator team. She's officially a chopper. So is Dave. He's officially a chopper. We figured out how to do that, and we have a few people that are able to cut the interesting people out of the chat who need to go. Because sometimes we get some interesting... What was with that one guy last... Oh, anyway. Yeah, and then I won't have to go back and do it later, which is what I usually do. I looked like his mom, which was creepy.
Yeah, that was real creepy.
That was creepy.
Oh.
Anyway, who else is here? Nazi, hello. Our Life the Keto Way, Amanda, hello. Tara Stevens, hello. From New Zealand. Oh, I want to go to New Zealand sometime. Who else is from New Zealand? I have another subscriber from New Zealand. Oh man, now it's gone right out of my head. I'll think of it. It's not Rhonda. Dang it. Maybe she'll come in later and chime in. Jessica Keenan, hello. Kim Cole D, hello. Pamela E from Tennessee, hello. Christina Collins. Reina Gonzalez, welcome. Debbie Lyman, hey girl. Lori in Texas, hello. Jackie's here, woohoo. Hi, Jacqueline Kimball, author. She's amazing. Hey. Jackie is awesome. Yeah, she says hi to you. Hi. Boogie Sue. I don't think I've seen that name before. Hello. Ailika is in the house. Life Health Now with Ailika. If you guys haven't checked out her channel, you should. She's awesome. Joan Simpler, good morning. And Nicole, Niquina1 is here. She says she only can stay for a bit and then she has to watch later, but I always appreciate that she's here. Let's see, Joyce Campbell, Megs Blue, and Harpreet Kahara. I hope that's right. And I will get to your question because that is our subject. That is our subject for today. So we do have 34 people here. Don't forget to smack that thumbs up. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. You're going to want to hang around out here. We have a good channel going on. We've got some really great educational videos. So
Just a good community.
and we have an amazing community.
Yes.
That is for sure. I don't think I've ever seen such a great community on YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube and I watch a lot of different genres. And the keto community is the nicest people.
Yeah.
The vegan community
No,
is not. Makes me wonder if there might be a correlation with those things. Right? I mean, maybe a little bit. Something about meat and cheese and veg that gets people all calm and zen. I don't know. All right, so we're just going to dive right in. 6:15. Let's talk if the 6:15 will be the number where we're starting.
Okay.
I guess. Vegans are hungry. Oh, yes, that's so true. Hungry?
Hangry.
Yes, both. All right, so my 4 steps to maximizing fat loss on keto. I have been dealing with this in my Facebook group quite a bit. We have had a lot of people coming on saying, it's not working. And so I wanted to make a video not just for my Facebook friends and my Facebook group, which if you are not a member of the Facebook group Keto Chaos, you need to get over there and join, because if you want to be successful, that's the optimal way to get your questions answered quickly. YouTube is great, and these live chats are great because you can ask me questions, but the Facebook is where you're going to find out a lot of the information and it's easier to get a hold of. So here we go. Step number 1 to being successful on keto is a caloric deficit. And I know you don't want to hear that. A lot of keto people out there swear you can eat 4,000 calories in a day, and as long as you're keto, you're still going to drop weight. That can be true to an extent. But the long and short of it is that calories do count. They do matter. And maximizing your fat loss on keto is a lot about balancing out your proteins and your fats so that you're satiated and still at an extreme caloric deficit for fat loss. So people ask me all the time, do you change your macros as you lose? Because there's a lot of people out there that say you should change your macros every 10 pounds or every certain amount of months or when your weight loss stalls or et cetera, et cetera. I have not changed my macros at all from the very, very beginning of this journey. So in 2+ years, the only differences that I've had in macros were when I decided I wanted to take a break from weight loss and I started eating a more maintenance-centered caloric count. So I would raise my calories to stop losing. Does that make sense? So if you want to maximize fat loss on keto, you actually need to decrease the amount of fat that you're eating. Okay, I know what you're thinking right now. A lot of you are going, I've heard this before, but most of you are probably going, this lady is whack job. Yeah, I get it. I know it sounds crazy to be on keto and not ingest huge amounts of dietary fat, but I'm telling you, that is the key to fat loss on keto, to make it go faster and to optimize it. Now, the problem is that when you're on keto and you cut down your fats, if you're trying to keep it in that perfect golden ratio, you're also going to cut back your proteins quite a bit, and you're going to be really hungry. Your body isn't going to feel satisfied because when you're not eating your fats to satiety, you're going to be hungry. And that's true. That's a long and short of it right there. So in order to bring your caloric deficit in check, but also keep your satiety up, I am recommending you to raise your proteins and lower your fats at the same time, which I know is contrary to a lot of the keto science and keto advice that's here on YouTube, but I'm telling you that it works. I am pure experience that it works, okay? I have been doing this, exactly this, what I am telling you, for over 2 years. I've lost almost 200 pounds. If I can do it, you can do it. It is so satiating to do it this way. Now, there are a few ways where you can determine the macros that you want to have for your weight loss. But I'm going to tell you right now, throw away your calculators. You don't need any of those apps that tell you what to eat, to tell you your percentages, to tell you your macros numbers. They're all going to be wrong. They're all going to be wrong. What you need is a protein-centric macro given to you. So there are two ways that you can do that. The easiest way is to join my Facebook group and get it right out of the pinned post. I have an average lean mass, body fat, average, caloric deficit average. Basically, it's average. It can be adjusted to be more perfect for you, but it's a great start for getting started on your keto journey. And it's right in the pinned post, has all the instructions on how to get started and a macros chart. Then you just go into your macro calculator and you put in your own specific macros. That's the best way to do it. The easiest way. That's the easiest way to do it. But if that's not what you're interested in doing, if you don't want to worry about my Facebook group or whatever, you can email me and I will send it to you, ketochaos@gmail.com. I will send it to you right away. The longer your email is, the longer it will take me to write you back because I'll feel like I need to write a long email in response and I don't always have time. Just warning you in advance that if you just say, hey, I want your macros, I'll send it right away. Because that's super fast. I just say, here you go. But if you want to just do it more custom to yourself, you need to determine your body fat percentage. Now, if you saw, I just recently posted a couple videos about my DEXA scan. If you missed that, you definitely should go check out my last Tammy's Tidbits. I showed the actual scan. We talked about the results in depth, and it showed me my body mass to as close as they can get it, which they claim is within 1% difference, which is pretty good. But I will say that I actually went onto the Navy body fat calculator, and there is another body fat calculator that seemed even more accurate out there. If you just Google body fat calculator, I think that's what brought it up. You can input your height, your weight, your sex, and your measurements. You'll need measurements. Like, I think it's like neck and waist and hips. I could be wrong. Might be arms as well. But they ask for a certain amount of measurements. So you're going to need a measuring tape. Measure yourself, put that information in, and it's pretty dang accurate to your body fat percentage. In fact, I would say it was 1% difference from the DEXA scan. So that was pretty eye-opening for me because I was like, when I input my original measurements and stuff, I was like 80% body fat and only 67 lean mass. And I have a hard time believing that is the case, but crazy. I have doubled my lean mass if that's the case in the last 2 years doing this protein-centric keto. So you can do that, get your body fat percentage. So mine is 35, basically, rounded up, 35%. And then I can go over to ketogains.com. Now, Ketogains is really for people who are trying to gain muscle. And so, but they do have a calculator that gives you the protein amount of 1 gram per pound of lean mass. You can do I think their lowest is 0.62 or something if you really don't want to go that high in protein. Me, the 1 gram is really perfect for me. But you can decide what you want to do on their calculator, but you put all of your information in. Doesn't matter how much exercise you do, put sedentary, and it will give you macros that are more custom to your personal lean mass, which is really, really great. The caloric deficit you can adjust. So if you want a 25% caloric deficit, you can change it to 35 or whatever, and it will bring your fat grams down. Your protein should stay the same, and it'll bring your fat grams down to your optimal level. And that right there is the key to being successful in fat loss on keto. Because if you keep your protein level at a certain point, you're going to feel satiety because of the higher level of food that you get to eat. You get a massive amount of food. Because protein is more dense food-wise, but it is calorically less dense than fat. And fat is just kind of like, gelatinous fat. It doesn't really fill you up. It can satisfy you if you eat enough of it, of course. I mean, that's what keto's all about, right? And we all know that. But if you can lower the amount of fat that you ingest, your body is thus forced to use your body fat. It will still get that high fat, that 75% that it needs. It will still get that fat that it needs. but it will get it from your personal body stores, which is the beauty of it. And it works so much faster and so much better than typical standard keto. So if you're stuck doing the standard keto and you don't feel like it's working, I highly recommend switching up your macros and trying a more protein-centric approach. Okay, that's step number 1, caloric deficit. Number 2, electrolytes. I get a lot of pushback on electrolytes because a lot of keto people don't really stress the importance of it. I think I'm probably the one who harps on it the most, and I think that's because it has helped me so much that I realize a lot of the people that struggle on keto, it's electrolytes that are the issue. You should be consuming 5 grams of sodium, not salt, sodium, every single day, minimum. Personally, I choose to do 5,000 milligrams or 5 grams of sodium on top of what I eat in my food. So I'm anywhere from 8 to 12,000 milligrams of sodium a day. That is how I stay up, right? I mean, mental clarity on keto is dependent on electrolytes. Mental clarity on keto is dependent on electrolytes. If you want that mental clarity and you want to be able to think clearly, you need to keep your sodium up. Keeping your sodium up will keep the potassium that you ingest in food in your body where you want it to be. And then you don't need to use a potassium supplement, which can be dangerous to mess around with. So if you can get your electrolytes in check, you're going to feel a lot better. Your body's not going to retain water as much. It's going to drop off of you like it's normal for keto. And it's going to be comfortable knowing that you're always going to be replenishing it so that it's always going to have what it needs in order to survive, right?
Yeah. And I can always tell when she's low on her sodium.
He will say, when's the last time you took Soleil? Whenever I get grumpy or tired or cranky or I just can't deal, right?
It's usually the case.
Yeah, and so I'm not perfect. I don't get it done always. I sometimes mess up and I sometimes end up cranky, and he knows right away what happened. And sure enough, I will go take some Soleil water. If you don't know what Soleil water is, I have videos. Just search them in the search bar in YouTube. You'll find mine and other people's. It's spelled SOLE with a little accent mark over the top. It's basically salt water. I'll go take a dose, and I brought it. Oh, I do have it. I keep it in my little handy dandy Ghost Stack container. I've talked about this multiple times on my live chats. You can see GOSTAK. In this, it is 1.5 tablespoons of Soleil. So I keep my Soleil down here. I pour it into here and shoot it. You can't do that right away at the beginning. It burns it burns. Yeah. It makes you feel like you want to vomit. It's not fun to take it at first. Always take it with a drink of some kind. You can mix it in water and some Mio water enhancer drops. The strawberry pineapple smash is fantastic with the salt. It is so good. So is the grape, Arctic grape, I think. There's a few. Oh, and the apple. If you can find orchard apple, really good with the Soleil. So if you need something to mask it,
I haven't had
that's the way.
Orchard
yeah, I
apple
haven't.
Here lately.
I haven't seen it. We did find it. My mom did find it at Thanksgiving. I think they still make it.
Yeah, it was at Target, I think.
Yeah, so
They
but
seem
you
to
I
have a
think you
better
can
selection.
you can find it online probably.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, so there's ways to get in your sodium. If you have a hard time, you can eat actual rock salt. I know people that measure out their rock salt, their Himalayan pink, and then swallow it like pill. That's pretty clever, actually. I've never actually tried that. That's one thing I did never try.
There's dirt in it for my taste.
Well, you can't taste it if you're swallowing it like a pill.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, that's true. That means you're getting all of those extra minerals that maybe you didn't necessarily need or want. When you make Soleil, the minerals kind of stay in the bottom and you don't have to ingest them. You're just ingesting the pure sodium, which I don't know if that's good or bad, but it works for me. It's what I do. It's how I get it. So number 2, get your electrolytes in check. You don't want to be retaining water because of low electrolytes. You don't want to feel crappy and sick and tired and miserable and foggy brained or muscle cramped or whatever else, the weird headaches. I mean, there's almost all things on keto can be fixed with sodium. Every single complaint people come to me with, I'm like, how much sodium are you consuming? Well, I don't know exactly. I'm not tracking. There's your answer. Don't even talk to me if you're not tracking your sodium and getting 5,000 milligrams. Don't even talk to me because I'll tell you that's the problem, even if it isn't, because it always is. Always. Like those funny jokes about coconut oil fixing everything that are on Facebook. No. On keto, it's sodium. Sodium fixes all ailments. All. Trust me. Just trust me.
Getting cramps, leg cramps. That's been the biggest thing for me.
Well, leg cramps is because what happens is that when your sodium drops, your body panics and it drops your potassium first. And so that's what causes the muscle cramping. You also should be taking magnesium, at least 300 milligrams. My favorite is glycinate, but you can take malate, oroate. I recommend not taking oxide, and I recommend not taking citrate unless you have serious constipation issues, because citrate can disrupt your cells. I don't know the science on that, but I know that the Magnesium Council, or there's like a magnesium group on Facebook, they don't recommend citrate for long-term magnesium supplementation. So stick to glycinate, oroate, malate. Malate is great for energy. So if you can take malate in the morning for energy and you can take glycinate at night to relax your muscles, works really great. So 300 milligrams minimum, I take 625. Dave never takes it. Hence the muscle cramping. When?
I take salt.
No, it's magnesium.
Oh, no, I don't take any magnesium.
No. See, he's the worst example of what I am teaching right now. Here's what not to do. Okay. And potassium, just keep an eye on your numbers. You want 1,000 to 3,500 milligrams of potassium from food sources or supplements like light salt. You don't necessarily need to supplement with potassium citrate powder. If you're going to do that, you're going to want your sodium to be lower. It's kind of a balance thing. If you're doing more potassium, you want to do less sodium and vice versa. I do not recommend potassium supplementation because it's dangerous. Some people have a hard time with the sodium though, and they need to do more potassium. But if that is the case, I think the best people I have seen talking about potassium supplementation is Optimal Ketogenic Living on Facebook. They kicked me out of the group, so I can't teach their info because it belongs to them. But whatever. So if you want to learn more about potassium supplementation, you're going to want to go to Optimal Ketogenic Living. So number 1 was caloric deficit.
Yeah.
He's already forgotten. Number 2.
Sodium.
Electrolytes. Okay. Number 3, the painful one. The one that's the hardest. Consistency is key. Okay, this is the thing that people on Facebook are struggling with the most. Every single time the scale goes up or doesn't go down, they are falling apart at the seams and saying, oh, this is not working. I have so many posts on my Facebook group that says, this is not working. I'm telling you right now, it is working. The scale lies. The scale lies so freaking much. Who saw my weigh-in? Hopefully all of you guys saw my weigh-in on Sunday. Did you see my weigh-in on Sunday?
I was there.
You were there?
I live here.
Yeah, but you weren't there. Did you watch it? Usually he watches my videos.
Yeah, usually I do.
Lately he's been lazy about watching them. But I weighed in on Sunday at, I think it was 185.1 or something like that. I weighed in today 181.5 in 2 days. This is my point. The scale lies. Don't listen to it. It's dumb. If you can't handle the scale going up and down, don't weigh yourself. Pick once every 4 weeks to weigh yourself. Watch your pattern, see when your lowest weight is, and weigh only then. It isn't worth the daily stress, and it isn't worth the second guessing. Don't second guess. Stick to your macros. Do not fail. Do not vary. Do not stray. Focus. Stay consistent. People ask me, how can you stand to eat the same flippity-flapping thing every day? Are you kidding me? Because it works, that's why. Made a whole video on that. But did my live chat just go out? It didn't, did it? No.
Nope.
Dave is watching because I have really spotty internet today, and I just want to make sure because it's gone out before, and I don't want to. Anyway, yeah, where was I? I lost my train of thought. Oh my gosh.
Scale's a liar.
Scale's a liar. Stay consistent. So yes, I promise you, if you are staying focused on keeping your macros the same, the scale will eventually catch up to your awesomeness. Don't lose sight of the goal. Keep going. Don't let the scale determine what you ate yesterday was crappy, because that's not true. I am proof of that. You go back and watch my weigh-in videos and you will laugh at how much the scale varies in a 2-week process. I am now heading into my whoosh, obviously, which happens every single time. Every single time. Without fail. I don't even have to worry about it anymore because I know it's going to happen. I absolutely know it's going to happen. So my point right now is consistency is key. Don't determine what you're going to do in the next week based on what happened this week on the scale. Keep focused and just keep going. The scale has to eventually catch up. If you're eating at a caloric deficit, literally no way. It's literally scientifically impossible that it isn't working. I am here promising you it is working. Focus on that. Trust the process. Stay consistent. Okay? That's number 3. And number 4 goes along with number 3, and that is patience. Have a positive attitude. Be patient with yourself. It took you a long time to get yourself into this situation. It is going to take a while to get out of it. It is going to feel like the longest, most harrowing thing you have ever done. At the beginning, it is going to feel like a journey of eternity. But I can tell you 2 years in that now, looking back, it feels very quick. 2 years only. You can give 2 years of your life to this. If you are 374 pounds, in 2 years, you can be sitting at the 170s, because that's where I believe I am, because this scale lies. I know I am in the 170s, because the scale lies, and I don't trust it. I know where I am, and that is where I am. You just wait. You just wait. Mark my words. On Sunday, I'm going to be back in there.
It's that time.
It's just going to go back to where it was. That's just what it does. If I don't, you guys can make fun of me if you need to, but...
Oh, I will.
Some people do.
Oh, I will.
Boo, you're not having success. Haves and have nots. Just so you know, if you say stupid things on my channel, you will get muted. Sorry, Sylvia. Not really sorry. You can give me constructive criticism. I can take that. But being stupid and making stupid comments for stupid sake will get you banned. Sorry, that's what it is. So that's it, guys. Patience is a virtue. Positive attitude. Keep that spirit up. When my kids are at their homeschool club, we have a rule. And I think it goes, have a good, great, awesome, amazing, spectacular attitude. And that is what you have to do. And it is sometimes really, really hard. I remember that first 6 months being still extremely obese. I mean, I could barely walk, and I had such hope. And I had such dreams of being thin, but such doubts that it was going to work. But I just stayed consistent, and I just kept going and trusting the process, and eventually it worked, and eventually it caught up with me. And I know that that is the case. I know that that is the case for everyone. So all of you guys on Facebook who are constantly complaining that it's not working, I'm telling you right now, it is working. Be patient, have a good attitude. So that's it for all steps. If you're just coming in, I will go over them one more time. But number 1, caloric deficit, protein-centric keto is key. Number 2, electrolytes. Make sure you're getting 5,000 milligrams sodium, especially out of all of them. That's the most important. Number 3, stay consistent. Don't give up. Keep going. And number 4, be patient with yourself and have a positive attitude. So I hope that that helped you guys. If you have some questions, me or him, I'm going to stop talking. Let Dave say. Dave doesn't talk much.
It's like Penn and Teller. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Except for he doesn't talk at all. And you do talk sometimes. He talks to me and he talks to other people. It's just on here, he doesn't always talk. And I have a hard time not talking. Okay. So let's go through the
Says that earlier.
comments and see if there's any questions. I'm gonna look. Let's see. Okay, in my opinion, I said, following your videos, learning tons. I up my protein. I'm 5'6". Start weight is 300. Eating 80 fat and 120 protein and 20 carbs. That should be perfect for you. That should be perfect for you. If you find that we could talk about, if you find that you feel like it's not working fast enough, the key is actually dropping your fats even more. So you can drop your fats as low as 50 without being a total B word, but I can't even get below 75 without becoming a B word.
I think that falls under the being satiated, because if
Yeah.
you're feeling like you're starving to death, you're going to be hangry.
Yeah, so sometimes when I lower my fats, like if I'm trying to lose, I notice that my proteins tend to go up and I just eat more lean protein. I tend to overeat my protein macro a lot. But yeah, that is the key to staying satiated, is your proteins being high enough.
Yeah.
And yes, it can raise your blood glucose a tiny bit. Yes, it can drop your ketones a tiny bit. I am proof that that doesn't matter. Unless you're a diabetic, you don't need to worry about that. The ketones thing, if you have any ketones at all, you're freaking in ketosis and you're burning fat. The point is that you're burning fat, dietary and body fat. It doesn't matter how many ketones are in your urine.
Well, it
or
just means
your
you're
blood.
producing more ketones than you're actually burning.
Right, and that's
you're
the
actually
thing.
using.
Over time, your ketones go down anyway because you're more efficient at burning them and using them.
Yeah.
So that's the truth right there. So good luck to you, in my opinion. I hope it works. And, well, I know it will work. That's the honest truth right there. If you stay consistent long enough, it will eventually work. That's just how it is. All right, so Harpreet asked earlier, I'm doing keto following you, but I'm stuck. Only lost 30 pounds in 6 months. Okay, so go back to my list and make sure you're doing all of the things I mentioned. I know you're following me on YouTube, but if you're not doing fat loss macros, then you may need to switch over to that. If you're not losing, either there's a thyroid issue, a PCOS issue, or a too much fat issue, too many calories issue. Those are the 3 things that really slow down weight loss. If you have PCOS or hypothyroidism, it's going to be slower because your body just doesn't cooperate as well. And that's just the honest truth. So that's right, ADH struggles. Now, Angela, I'm going to get that. You're so awesome to remember that. Thank you so much for remembering. I appreciate it. All right. You guys are funny. Okay, we won't talk about the vegans because we love them. My sister-in-law is vegan, and she's one of the nicest people on the planet. Yeah. So you can't
really group them all into
But
one.
it seems like whenever people attack me, and I was called a dumb A the other day, and I wanted so bad to ask if that person was vegan. Oh, a dumb A and they were like, apple a day and all this stuff, and I'm like, well, all of your swearing is like proving that nobody should listen to anything you say, and your username is double proof. I can't even say their username on my chat. That's how bad it was. I told my 23-year-old username and he laughed his head off, so that means anything to you. Let's just say it was derogatory towards Burger King. Yeah. Anyway. I'm like, if you're gonna come on and insult people, you should probably have like a reasonable username and like speak in a kind way that has science backing it. Because they were like, you need to do your research. And I'm like, I have. Thanks. Hence my feeling so confident. If anyone is wondering where my research is coming from, everything I'm teaching is from number 1, Dr. Finney from vertahealth.com, and number 2, my personal experience. Sometimes Dr. Finney does write things that I disagree with, and I go, what the heck? And it's not him that writes it. It's his writers. It's his science team. He did put out a blog post recently that I was like, I cannot even show this to anyone because this is so ridiculous. It was not good. So everything they say, I don't always take literally as like the hand of God giving it to me. But for the most part, this protein-centric keto is from Dr. Finney. He's the one who recommends it. He recommends a little less protein than what I personally am using. Keto Gains is more where the protein level is coming from. That this is what we're kind of learning, that Keto Gains has a little higher protein level than what Finney recommends. So You could probably drop your protein a little bit if you wanted to off my macros chart. Like I said, it's flexible, but I'm going to tell you to try that first. Always. I'm going to tell you to try what we have first because it's average, and then you can adjust it from there if you feel like it isn't working. So if you're already trying my chart, you can try lowering your proteins. You can, if you want, or if that makes you so you're not satiated, try lowering your fats. Lower your fats by 10 can help a lot. I can't do it. I keep trying. My fat is set at 80, and I have a really hard time not going over 80. Which is probably why I haven't lost as much weight in January and February, though we don't know for sure how much I've lost for 2 more weeks. 2 more weigh-ins, then we'll know, and then we can say. Because I really don't know at this point. I really don't know. Because I'm still holding on to the water. It's so dumb. Okay, so Christina Collins says, completely agree. I was stalled for 2 months, tried it your way, higher protein and lowered my fat, and boom, started dropping pounds again. Thank you for your advice. Awesome. And I know Ailika does it that way. I think pretty similar to what I'm teaching. Louisa Caprisi says, listen to me, as in me. I couldn't lose weight until I followed what Tammy's explaining. Thank God for her. Aw, you're sweet, hun. You're sweet, hun. Thank you. What do I think about Halo Top Keto ice cream on keto? It's okay in moderation, but you can only have 1 serving at a time, which is like 67 measly grams. Sucks. It's okay fat macros wise, and it's okay. You got to track it. I do it on occasion. If I do it, I tend to do like a root beer float because I just find the ice cream is so like unsatisfying with such a small amount. I'll take vanilla Halo Top, put it with diet root beer, make myself a nice little treat. But that's usually on a special occasion. I try not to do when I'm trying to lose fat. So when I'm in weight loss mode, which is where I am right now, but I will not be in a couple of weeks, just so you guys know. I try to avoid keto treats at all. When I go back to more of a maintenance plan, which is what I'm planning to do March through May, because I'm liking to give myself a little time off between each about 10 pounds, just because at this point I feel like it's better for my skin to do that, because I lost so much so quickly at the beginning. But yeah, I actually recommend Rebel Creamery ice cream, but the thing is that Rebel doesn't go to most stores. You have to buy it online. You really have to buy a case of it in order for it to be worth the money to ship it, because it's like $5.99 for one thing here in the store here in Utah or Texas, but I think that's the only stores it's in at the moment.
They have a few on their website.
Yeah, so you can look there on rebelcreamery.com. But you can eat the whole pint because of the carb count. But the way they did that is they made it really fatty. So I think it has like 35. Is that 35 for the entire pint of fat? Maybe it's more than that.
No, I think
it's more than that.
And they vary between the different flavors.
Yeah. So when you're doing these fat loss macros, it's not the best choice necessarily because it's really high in fat, but it has the lowest carb and the best flavor out of every keto ice cream there is. So if you're really looking for a treat on a special day, get yourself some Rebel Creamery, invest the $60 and get the whole case and stick it in the deep freeze, and then just take it out on special occasions. It's worth it. It's worth it.
If you're a binge eater, don't.
If you're a binge eater and you can't trust yourself, be careful. Don't. Yeah, don't mess around. Oh, I see we have a super chat. I'm gonna have to look for that in just a second. But my sister is proof of this. Okay, you guys, my sister got to maintenance. And she started eating Rebel ice cream, and she has a really hard time keeping it in check. And she has actually put on some weight overeating her fats because she's still a binge eater and she still has issues. So just losing the weight is not going to fix this for you guys. She got down to 150 pounds, and she's the same height as me. And so that's another reason why I'm kind of taking maintenance breaks to try and get used to the idea of eating maintenance and tracking it if possible. I don't want to be lazy this time. I really want to track it and see what I'm really hitting so I know. But yeah, I think you can easily kick yourself out of ketosis with too many keto treats, and you can overeat and still gain weight if you eat too much fat on keto. That is just the way it is, you guys. It's science. If you eat more than your body is burning, you will gain weight. That is just the long and short of it right there. So I do not mind Halo Top in moderation, tiny bits at a time. Let's see. Jackie says, I love not feeling the least bit hungry on keto and 1,100 calories a day. Back to low fat, 1,100 calories. I stayed hungry and felt blah. Yep. Yep. So I will warn you about that too. I'm not understanding. She says she feels more hungry doing it this way. And I guess that is definitely possible. Sorry, we're all getting cramps from sitting funny on the bed. We're all moving around now. My legs are falling asleep too. Oh no, another super chat? No, that's the same one. Okay. Sorry. Super chats are kind of hard because they don't actually pop up on my thing. They pop up on yours though. So who is it?
It's Gloria.
Oh, it's Gloria. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. I'll read it in just a second. Here's sweet. Jackie, I think I'm understanding that when you go back on mine, you're hungrier because you don't feel as satiated. That is definitely possible, and it's even more so possible if you've been eating the higher fat and your body's used to it because it gets cranky. So when I go off and I have my 3 months of where I'm eating higher fat, I keep my protein level the same and I raise my fats up. When I go back to fat loss macros, I feel like I'm dying, and that's the honest truth. So I think when you're coming from a high fat perspective and trying to switch, you are going to be really hungry at first, and it takes a little while. So it took me probably a whole month this time to get back into the groove and feel comfortable. And now I'm going to throw myself back out after only a month more of being comfortable. I'm seriously considering not doing it, but I know that I need to for multiple reasons. I'm going to be too stressed out to have to think about things too much. And I don't know. I've just made a decision that that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to see how it goes. But yeah, you can be more hungry. Up your sodium, it helps. Up your protein, keep your fats low, and it helps. But you might feel like killing people for a little while. I did. I just tell Dave that I felt like I was being sucked dry. And especially how close you're getting. Did it knock it off?
I don't know, something
happened?
off.
You guys are still here, right?
Yeah, they're still there.
Dave got knocked out. As long as, what was I saying? Oh, man. Oh, the closer you are to goal, I think there's less body fat and your body freaks out and feels like it doesn't have a really big supply. And it's begging me for more fat dietarily because it's worried I don't have enough. Now, I look like I don't have enough right here, don't I? I mean, starting to look like a skeleton. Stop playing with my mole. I'm going to get that taken off. No, my bones. These are my bones. That's my mole. That's not my bones. My 23-year-old hugged me the other day, and he hasn't hugged me in a really long time. It was his birthday party, and he hugged me to say thank you, and he hit his face on my shoulder, and he's like, ow, you're bony. I felt bad. I'm like,
well,
yeah, I
he's also
am.
the one that came in the house and looked in the kitchen. You were in washing dishes. He turned to his brother and says, who's that in the kitchen?
Did Mom hire somebody to clean? Because I don't clean either, so he was like...
Way out of character.
Who's washing dishes? This skinny woman. That was months ago. That was last summer. That's so funny.
That was the best story.
Yeah. All right. So, Glory, I will read your super chat really quickly because you're so sweet to send it. Where is it? Oh my gosh. It's clear down there. Okay. She said, I didn't want to mention this in the hide and seek channel comments, but Ruby is my absolute favorite. She's the sweetest little devil. She always makes me laugh. Thank you. So many people really like Virginia, and so many people really like Eloise, but I'm telling you what, Ruby is my favorite person on the planet. I love those girls, all of them, for different reasons, and I shouldn't say that, but since the day Ruby was born, she has brought light into our lives. She is freaking hilarious, and the cutest child that ever lived when she was a baby. I was just telling Dave last night, it is such a bummer. It's so disappointing that we didn't start a YouTube channel when she was a baby, because I had lost weight and I really could have done it. I was fairly thin back then, and then maybe you guys would have seen me get really big and be depressed, but dang it, she was awesome. She's literally the most cherubic 2-year-old that ever lived. She made me happy every day, and I don't think I recorded hardly anything. I can't seem to find any video of it, and it's kind of heartbreaking. But yes, I agree. Ruby's got the most interesting things to say out of everyone. Though Jasper can almost talk her off a cliff. That kid talks a lot. So thank you. I appreciate it.
She's just like her.
Ruby is my mini-me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I know how to deal with her. When she's having meltdowns, I know she just needs a good smack, and I don't mean like a spank. So I really don't spank her much. Though I think out of all the girls, she's been spanked the most. I think I've spanked her.
And she earned every single one of them.
Oh, yeah. I think I've spanked her 4 or 5 times in her life. And the other girls, I don't even know if I've ever spanked. Maybe rarely. Rarely. They just don't need it as much. Ruby, she needs to be taken in hand. I know how it works. Dave, he knows he's got to give me a good emotional smack when I'm falling apart. Or leave me alone. So either I will put her in a place where she needs to be alone to calm down, or I will say, Ruby, stop it right now. And I get my mean voice out. If you guys watched that video where I pushed her in the snow, oh my gosh, someone don't call CPS on me. That was the most satisfying and rewarding moment of my life. Is that depressing or what? You can hear me shrieking at her like a shrill harpy. Just do it! Just do it already! And she just would not. And she also would not do it. I knew where she was at because she's my mini-me. She was on the precipice of doing the scary thing that she wanted to do so badly, but she just couldn't make herself jump. So someone had to do it for her. Someone had to push her down into the snow in a swimsuit. And the scene right after where she's running in the house and her little butt cheeks, her little red snow-covered butt cheeks are hanging out of her swimsuit. Oh my gosh, yeah. To die for, you guys. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it. It's the Polar Arctic Challenge video. Go watch it. It's hilarious. It is hilarious. Okay, back to where we were. Oh my gosh, we have so many comments. Where are we at? 46 minutes. Guys, I may not get to them all today. If you have something burning that you need to talk about, you can do a super chat for like $1 and I'll notice it. It doesn't have to be a ton. It will help me see it because I'm not sure if I'm going to get through everybody's today. I'm trying. You're there, I was right there. Yeah. Okay, Sherry Garrett says, I had a ribeye for lunch with a handful of macadamia nuts. It's been 1.5 hours and I'm still full. Well, that's because you ate a high protein and high fat meal. I wouldn't be able to eat that on my macros. It's too high in fat for my macros. That'd be my whole fat macro for the whole day in one meal. But yummy!
Yeah.
Sometimes we go out and we have prime rib and peanuts. Same thing, but it usually has to be on a day that I'm doing a higher fat because it doesn't fit in my macros unless I eat for breakfast. I eat a protein shake with no fat and I eat yogurt. So I'll have a protein dense meal with no fat. Then sometimes I can fit stuff like that in my macros for the second meal, which is what I usually do if I'm in fat loss mode and I'm trying, but not always. Like Valentine's Day when I way overate my macros. I didn't even track it because I knew it was going to be so bad. So bad.
It was bad enough I was sick the next day from it.
I wasn't, but I was sick that night. Like my stomach hurt
it was
so
not
bad.
Worth it.
It was so full. I was just so full. I haven't been that full in years. It was insane. We pigged out, like majorly pigged out. It was bad. Tammy Duvall says, most days I'm doing fine. However, there are those days where I could literally eat everything in sight. I keep it keto, but I'm always hungry on those days all day. What's up with that? I have several theories on that because I've had those days myself. Number one, I always say, how are your electrolytes? Are you tracking them? Is your sodium high enough? Because if your sodium isn't high enough, you will starve to death. Also, even if your sodium is high enough, taking more will calm those cravings. Diet soda can also help calm the cravings. If you're not a diet soda drinker, I hate to brag how much diet soda I drink, but that is the main thing that keeps me when I'm having those hungry days. If I drink diet soda and take sodium, it will help. Eating a pickle can help because it can fill your stomach up, gives you some sodium, and it basically is negligible calories, so that's a good option. If you're dying, obviously, just keep it keto and raise up your fats for the day. It's not going to hurt you to have a high-fat day here and there.
For me, stress. That's what happens when I get stressed.
Because you're an emotional eater.
Yep.
We all are. I mean, to a degree. Even Jasper. Even Jasper.
Here, eat your feelings.
That's what I always say when Jasper's having a meltdown and I'm like, here's a piece of candy. And I feel like the worst mom. And I'll be like, here, eat your feelings. It's so bad. I try really hard not to do that, which is why we have that inside joke.
It's a little joke.
It's a joke. Yeah. We always are joking about it, but it's true. We need to find healthy ways to deal with stress, eating, healthy ways. So pay attention to what's going on in your life. Are you stressed out? Are you more bored? Are you in a situation that causes you to be more emotional? Those things can definitely affect it. So if it's those things, I say don't eat, because you need to teach yourself how to deal with it. Find a way to distract yourself. Play Candy Crush, play The Sims. That's what I do. But you do something to keep yourself busy, keep yourself active, and don't let yourself succumb to those temptations. If you're really just genuinely starving, then sodium doesn't help. You can try raising your proteins a little bit. Don't go crazy. But I mean, for my height and my body mass level, according to Keto Gains, if I want to gain muscle, I can go up to 150 protein a day. I never really go over that. Like, I'm usually hitting between 120 and 135 a day. So go over on your proteins if you need to, if you really want to keep the fats in check, because the fats are where the calories lie, and they are also the first thing your body is going to burn. Obviously, it's not going to turn to protein right away. And don't be afraid of gluconeogenesis, because it's always happening no matter how much protein you eat, because your body needs a certain amount of glucose, and it converts the protein to glucose no matter what keto you do. It's not a supply and demand thing. It takes a real huge amount of protein to really make that much difference in your blood sugar levels and your insulin levels. It makes a small difference. And if a small difference makes a big difference to you, then of course you're going to want to keep those proteins low. And then lastly, up your fats for the day and have it be a high fat day. That's what I do. If I'm feeling like I'm feeling like my body is sucked dry of fat, I will have a big high fat day like Valentine's Day, and that will keep me in check for a few weeks, and then I won't feel like I need to eat more. Some people have the opposite effect. I know one of my, Karen Marie, one of my moderators, she says that it's the opposite. She tried doing high fat for maintenance, and it just made her never satisfied, and she just really wanted to eat a lot of it, and she was binge eating her fats. So it's like a person by person thing. You have to just try and figure out what works for you. For me, sodium has always worked. So that's what I do. It could be hormones, could be your time of the month. Oh my gosh, it could be so many things. Yummy keto aid. All right, getting back on the macro train. This is from Jessica Keenan. I lost 59 pounds in 5 months. I went lazy keto the last 2 months because I fell in depression over miscarriage. I am so sorry. Been there, done it. I've made my peace, and I'm grateful for only gaining 2 pounds. That's great. And a lot of time with lazy keto, you can still lose. When I did lazy keto last fall, I still lost 2 pounds every 4 weeks. So you can still lose if you're eating all the fat, but you won't lose as fast as if you keep it in check and you track it. So good luck to you. I hope you can feel better. That's how I gained all that weight back. If you saw that Tammy's Tidbits where I talked about that. Yeah. Buy your magnesium on Amazon. It's the easiest thing to do. I personally use Zhou brand, Z-H-O-U, but you can use any brand that is glycinate or malate or oroate or whatever one you want to try. Oxide's not as absorbable, so you have to take more of it for it to work. And citrate is really good at clearing up, giving you diarrhea, clearing up constipation, but not necessarily the best choice on a long-term maintenance kind of thing. All right. What vitamins should you take on keto? A multivitamin's enough. Just the micronutrients that you would get from a lot of veggie sources and a lot of fruit sources that you're not eating. I personally take Ritual brand vitamins. I keep joking that I'm going to get like a partnership with them, and they've even told me to send them my media kit, but I just never get around to making a media kit. One of these days, we'll have a Ritual vitamin partnership because I love them. They're super cute. They have yummy things in them. They have the basics of what I need. They have vitamin K2, I think it is, and instead of calcium, so that it helps your body metabolize the calcium. It has boron and iron and omega-3s and D3 and what else does it have? I can't remember everything. It's the one I choose to use. And also it tastes like peppermint and smells like peppermint, and it's cute. That's why I take it, because it's cute, and that's the honest truth right there. I don't even know if it's the best, but it has been awesome for my hair and my skin. I feel like since I started taking it, I have more energy. So there you go. Any multivitamin is fine though. Any multivitamin. So the only things I suggest that are imperative are your electrolytes, and then a multivitamin if you're worrying about your micronutrients because you're not getting enough from veggies. That's it. Alrighty, where am I at? Hey, Joanne Gilmore, good to see you. All right, what is that? Karen Rothbell found a powdered drink mix set. she likes at Walmart that's sugar-free, and she mixes a half a packet with 3 tablespoons of Soleil and fill up the Contigo water bottle with water and then just sip on that. Awesome. Be careful not to drink 3 tablespoons of Soleil at once, especially if you haven't been doing Soleil a lot, because I'll tell you what, probably 1 tablespoon of Soleil will send you to the bathroom. If you're having constipation issues, that's another way to clear it up. More salt. All right. I had really, really high blood pressure when I first started this. 175/94 was my average, and it never went up on the Soleil. And it's gone down to normal. Though I have had a couple of iffy measurements recently, they aren't high enough to be of concern. Have I heard of Dr. Price's electrolyte mix? Nope. But what I will say is what I say about every flippity-flapping keto product on the market. It's a waste of money. It's cheaper to just buy salt and magnesium pills and eat potassium-rich food. There you go. Don't waste your money on powders and crap. Unless it has enough sodium, but I guarantee you it doesn't. And it tastes really good. Then maybe if it's not too expensive, consider it. But it doesn't have enough sodium. I'm telling you right now. They never do. They never have enough. It's not even close to enough. Dr. Berg's.
Well, that's the thing.
Too much potassium, not enough sodium.
You can do this. You can do this with anything you can buy at the grocery store. You can buy everything you need at the grocery store. There's no reason to go search out somebody's electrolyte powder, or somebody's ketones, or
fancy like
or bars,
keto
or
meal plan things, or
meals
now. They're coming out with keto pre-made meals, which is good if you're like
in a
hurry.
They can be good on the go, but
it's expensive.
The ones I've seen, the fat macro way out what does the protein, and it's
right for us, which for us won't work.
Can't see that they're gonna work for us, but
yeah. So Dave is right. You don't need anything fancy to do this. You just get stuff that you buy at the outer edge of the grocery store, some sodium and some magnesium, and you're good. That's it. Everything else is not necessary. Right? Meat, cheese, veg, yogurt. All available on the outside of the grocery store. Let's see. My cardio had a fit when she found out I was eating a lot of avocados because of the fat. But when my blood fats and sugar corrected, she said, keep doing whatever you're doing. Yeah. Well, and avocados are great. Like if you're going to have a high fat breakfast, avocados are great. But I don't eat very many avocados because they are too high in fat most of the time for my macros. I like to get my macros from cheese because I'm a cheese lover. But if I wasn't going to get my macros from cheese or heavy whipping cream or whatever else I'm putting in my food, then I would probably consider avocados more because they are a really good source of a lot of yummy things. So potassium being one of them, potassium is high in potassium. So usually what I'll do is I'll have 50 grams of it, which is half an avocado, is what I usually do. I don't eat them by the ton. Plus, they're so hard to keep on hand.
Then the problem here is they're expensive.
Yeah.
They're really expensive.
They're at least $1 a piece here, sometimes more.
Cheese is a lot cheaper.
Cheese is cheaper. That's true. But some people can't do dairy on keto, and so
True.
Coconut and avocado are huge things they need. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, eating a lot of avocados isn't going to do anything bad to you. It's just going to stall out your weight loss if you eat so many that you're not eating in a caloric deficit. So, all right. Yes, there's a video on how to make the Soli water on my channel, though I look like an idiot on it, and I spill it everywhere. I really should remake that, but it's really funny. Did you see that?
What?
It says, OMG, Chef Dave is a man of few words, but he has some funny ones. He saves them up. Yep. And I have never appreciated his humor. Our whole married lives, I'm always like rolling my eyes. Oh. But admittedly, I have no sense of humor at all. I don't find...
doses, she can handle me.
I see him once a week sometimes. That's really good. That's a really good amount. It's probably a really good amount for him seeing me too, because I can be a lot to handle. Hey, honey, you don't have shoes in here, I don't think. Go look downstairs. Honey, we're having the live chat and I can't help you yet. I know, and I'll get them in just a minute, okay? Do you want to go get them for him?
I'll go get them for him.
I feel bad when the 2-year-old... No, he's not 2 anymore.
Yeah,
3-year-old is crying at the door. All right. Okay, let's see. Do, 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 do. Gina, you can go up and down 15 pounds in a week. I hate to scale. Yup. I hate it too. Okay, we're coming,
I
man.
go up and down 10 pounds in a day.
Yeah, Dave says he goes up and down 10 pounds in a day. If you guys are wondering, I forgot to mention where he was at on my Sunday weigh-in. He's at 270 again.
Still.
Though I have to admit that I've seen him sneaking some peanuts recently, and I don't think he's tracking them. Right, dear?
Yeah.
Yeah, he admits it. I don't know that he's sticking to the protocol as well as he should, because he just really is a stress eater. Though he hates those. Check over by his bed and see if the
Okay.
other boots are there. Sorry, guys. I don't know where his shoes are. I really don't think they're in here, to be completely honest. I really think. Apparently, you're cracking everyone up, because there's a whole bunch of comments about how they made them laugh. I wish I knew what it was that you said that was so funny. Apparently, I didn't find it that funny. Do you remember what it was?
That's why they find it.
That's why they find it funny? Because I don't? Oh my gosh. I feel like lonely now that he's gone. He's disappeared now. All right, let's see. Hey, Summer King, welcome to my channel. I'm glad you found me from Keto Karma's channel. I haven't been over to her channel in a while, but she's awesome. Oh my gosh. Yes, I do homeschool. Hello from Korea. Okay. Sorry, you guys. This is so funny. Okay, that's a good question. Summer King asks, what were a couple of your favorite go-to meals when you first started? Really, they are the same meals that I eat already, like the same ones I still eat. But when I first started, I did 3 meals a day. So it was a little bit different than what I'm doing now, because I only do 2. So I would get up and I would have bacon, eggs, and cheese, and sometimes yogurt. Is that right? Bacon, eggs, and yogurt. I don't think I did cheese at that time. Bacon, eggs, and yogurt, but in smaller amounts than what I do now. So it was like more like 1 egg and like 2 strips of bacon and a yogurt, I think. Oh gosh, I wish I could remember, you guys. I actually have it in my food tracker somewhere because I was tracking, but I was using a different tracker. So that's why I don't know for sure. And then I would have a steak and veggies for dinner, and then I would have chicken, cheese, and veggies not for lunch. Steak and veggies for lunch. Oh my gosh. And then chicken, cheese, and veggies for dinner. Now that I'm doing 2 meals a day, I have been doing the same dang thing since a month in on keto. And I eat almost, as you guys know from my videos, I eat the same dang thing for breakfast almost every single day. And it's not really breakfast. I eat it around noon or later. And I eat bacon, eggs, cheese, and yogurt because I love that combo. And I have a whole video about why I love that combo. But it is all about mouthfeel and textures and flavors and satiety. All those 4 things together are like my perfect meal. I love them. Some people don't. Some people don't love that. So you have to find meals that work for you, that meet your macro. So if you're gonna I have a video on how to do this, meal planning video somewhere. I think it's called like making a keto meal plan, where you take your macro and you divide the protein into 3 or 2, and you decide which proteins you're gonna eat for those meals, and then you add fats and adjust them as needed. So favorite go-to dinners, I would say at the very beginning we did like stroganoff. We did kind of a stroganoff soup, and we had like a mushroom soup that we would have on the side with some chicken. We don't do those as much now. I tend to want chicken, cheese, sauce, and a veg. So it's often like chicken, provolone cheese, zucchini noodles, and Alfredo sauce. Or chicken, mozzarella cheese, Rao's marinara sauce, and spaghetti squash. Those are my favorite things. Occasionally I'll eat steak and broccoli, but I always feel not satiated with steak and broccoli.
Stuffed chicken breast is your favorite right now.
Stuffed chicken breast is my favorite.
Takes a little longer to make.
It takes 30 minutes to make instead of 10 because you have to bake it in the oven. But yeah, so it's 1 ounce of Parmesan cheese on the outside, 1 ounce of Swiss on the inside, an ounce of ham, in a 4-ounce chicken breast, and he bakes it for about 30 minutes at 400 degrees or something until it gets to 165 degrees on the chicken. That's a good one, but really keep it simple. Don't mess around with recipes because they're a pain in the butt to track. Keep it simple. Meat, cheese, and veg. Sauce. Some kind of fat. If you're gonna eat chicken breast, you're probably gonna need a fat. That's why I eat chicken breast a lot, so I can add in cheese and sauce. Cause yum. But that's why I don't feel as satiated when I eat steak and broccoli, because I don't feel like it has any sauce. I like my sauce. And Rouse just came out with an Alfredo sauce that's freaking awesome. It's even lower in carb than Ragu and Prego, and it tastes really good. Love me some Rouse. It's expensive, but it's worth it, especially if I'm only eating like a quarter cup at a time. It's not a lot. Okay, we are over time, so I'm going to have to choose the most important ones now. Oh man, Phage, whatever. Questions, where do I get it? Walmart.
Pretty much every grocery store around here
has it, but I don't know other places.
I
Maybe
don't know
not
other
the same.
places.
There's another really good Icelandic skyr, SKYR. I want to try it really bad, but they don't have it here. But I hear that it's got really good macros. There's another kind of yogurt called Too Good, but I roll my eyes at it. The flavorings that they use aren't strong enough, so you still have to add like Mios to it as well, or stevia to it as well, because it's not sweet enough. And the macros are just like whatever. I don't know. It's another keto product that's trying to get people's attention. When you can just get a plain old tub of Faye for cheaper, and it has a really good texture.
Somebody asked about Great Value Greek yogurt.
Have I tried that one?
We haven't tried that, but I think we looked at the macros on it. The plain, I can't remember what they were.
For me, it's a texture thing. I haven't found any other Greek that I like that's creamy. Like the Phage or Faye brand is really like got some substance. It's not watery and it's really creamy. It's like got some, like tastes desserty. We tried Chobani and it's really thin. And I would imagine the Great Value might be the same, but I honestly haven't tried it. You'd have to look at the macros. Like I do, you can divide the macros in half if it says live cultures and see if it's less or more. I know that 0% Phage has 7% or 7 grams in a cup. People are forever coming on here and telling me, don't use the 0% fat. They add sugars. It's got more carbs, and that's total bunk. They don't add any dang sugar to it. And because there's less milk fat or less milk in it, I don't know, there's less carbs. I'm pretty sure that the 5% has 9. Guys, stop telling me that. It's annoying. I kind of know how to read a label. Okay. And then how to meet your protein. What's best ways to meet your protein when you're having a hard time. So obviously the yogurt is a good one. I do it to get my fats low and my proteins higher because I want to eat bacon and cheese. I want those flavorful things. So I choose to have the yogurt alongside that to raise the protein level, but not the fats. Shrimp is a really good one. Shrimp is really good. It's super high in protein, very low in fat. Tuna
does have a couple of carbs.
It does have some carbs in it, so you have to count them. You do have to count them. Tuna, any kind of fish. Fish is all good. Salmon. Yep. Salmon's a little fattier, but
Tuna's a good protein bomb.
Protein bomb, yeah. We love protein bombs. We should start making protein bombs. That would be hilarious. You know how you make a protein bomb though? It's with really low carb, high protein, low fat protein powder mixed with random weird things. There's all kinds of them. If you look up protein sludge.
Oh, that sounds appetizing.
It's actually looks pretty good. I don't know. I would probably eat it if I ever made it. Protein powders are a good way to do it if you're really having a hard time. But they're not as satiating because they're a drink. And it's always best to not drink your food. It's always best to eat your food, not drink your food if you want to be satisfied. But that's another good way is to get a really low carb protein powder that tastes good. I really like the Quest caramel, I think it is. It's pretty decent. And I'll have that occasionally. Sometimes I actually mix the protein powder in my Creo Brew, which is like a ground cocoa bean. So it's kind of like a chocolate caramel thick. And then I don't need creamer either at all. I don't need any like heavy whipping cream or half and half in my drink. So that actually works. It's pretty decent. It's kind of like protein coffee instead of bulletproof coffee. But we don't drink coffee or bulletproof stuff. We are non-supporters of bulletproof anything. Just putting that out there. Okay. Let's see if there's anything super, super important. There's so much. That ice cream that I was talking about. I meant to mention that. The ice cream Rebel Creamery. So it's www.rebelcreamery.com. No, this video is not sponsored. They have no idea who I am. They are a Utah company. They have factories other places, but they were born here, like a lot of keto companies are. Like, what's that other one? The protein shake one. Keto Chow. That one's actually pretty decent. It tastes pretty good too. Utah companies. But yeah, Rebel Creamery is the ice cream that I bought for Keto Cricket. That's Rebel Creamery. And I know that Keto Cricket, Tammy does a higher fat version of keto, and that she's a lot closer to her goal weight than me. And I determined what to buy her based on her. So that's why I decided on the ice cream. Would someone else have won it, I would have chosen a different prize. So it was basically, that's why I didn't say what people were going to win, is because I wanted it to be custom to the person. And I knew she would enjoy it, and I was right, and her husband is even happier. And I didn't know that about her husband. I did not know. Enlightened is also a really good one. It has better ingredients than Halo Top, and it tastes better. The peanut butter chocolate Enlightened is freaking decent. It is really, really good.
But then there's the strawberry Rebel.
Okay, so Jackie, I misunderstood. She says she's not hungry on lower fat keto. She was hungry on lower fat, the regular standard American diet, low fat diet. Oh yeah. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Yuck. Starving on anything like that. Okay, so Claudia M., this is a really, really good question, and it does go along with our topic. So if anyone made it this far, this is going to go along with our original topic. On keto, in order for our body to burn fat, we need to eat the good fats, right? My friend is eating low fat or no fat and calls it keto. Are you fat? Then the answer is no. I hate to break it to you, but if you're eating 25 grams of fat and under 20 grams of carbs, it's still keto.
Yeah.
Hate to break it to you. Low fat keto is still keto. And it works because you have fat on your body. Your body will take its fat where it gets it from if the carbs are too low, and it will go into ketosis and it will burn your body fat. So that is not true. Hate to break it to you. Not true. Now, when you're first starting and you're trying to convince your body to burn fat instead of carbs, it is a good idea to give it a lot of yummy fat so that it goes, oh, look at this, fat, and it starts to burn it. But as you get into it, once you're fat adapted especially, no, you can keep your fats very low. I don't suggest going lower than 50 grams of fat, but that's because your brain and your hormones need a certain amount of fat from dietary to function well, and you will get hangry and cranky and become a major B word if you go below 50. But you can. People do it all the time. It's called a protein-sparing modified fast. It is a crash diet. It's not necessarily recommended, but it does work, and it is keto. So keto itself is not a high-fat diet, though it is. It's so hard to explain. Keto is high-fat, but it will get its fats from where it gets its fats. Your body will get its fats from your body fat stores if you don't eat it. Anything that puts you into ketosis, which is where you basically convert fats to ketones and burn those, is keto. Atkins is keto. It's basically what I do. Introductory Atkins is almost exactly what I teach. The only difference between Atkins and what I teach is that when you get to your goal weight, you don't add carbs back in. You add fats instead to maintain. Atkins threw everybody for a loop because they didn't suggest electrolytes to anyone, and they suggested putting carbs back into your diet for people that were greatly addicted to carbohydrates. That didn't work. So yes, protein-sparing modified fast is still keto. Atkins is still keto. High-fat keto is keto. If you're in ketosis, it's keto. So yes, what your friend is doing is still keto. Hate to break it to you, but it's true. People tell me that too, though. They're like, you can't eat low fat. Well, what is low fat? I'm eating 78 grams of fat a day. 75 to 85 is my general amount. And people tell me that that's really low fat because your body needs certain 75% or whatever, 20%. That's not true. Your body will get all the fats it needs from your body stores if you have some. If you're like 9% body fat, I highly recommend eating a crap ton of fat. Don't eat low fat if you have no body fat. That is bad. You will starve. That's not a good idea. But yeah, that's why what I'm teaching works faster than regular keto right there. Because your body will burn what you eat first, and then it will turn to your body fat. All right. We got 40 likes. That's awesome, you guys. Thank you for giving me thumbs up. I appreciate it so much. You guys are awesome. Let's see. Oh, man. I haven't tried the Greek yogurt at Aldi because I don't have an Aldi. It's 5 carbs per serving. Probably not a full cup. But if it is, heck yeah. I don't know how they did that. But yeah, that should be fine. If it's 5 carbs per serving, that's only 2.5 that you have to count. That's awesome. So yeah, go for it. Oh yeah, 170 grams is not a full cup. So that's probably about the same as phage, Faye. McDonald's fat doesn't count. It technically does. Your body can still burn it. I'm not keto police. But I see what you're saying. You're like, basically eating more good fats is good for your body when you've lost weight. Is that what you're saying? Lonely atheist?
That's better for everything. You just eat better quality food.
Eating better quality food is good for you. Yeah. But you can still eat a McDonald's burger without a bun, and as long as you track it, your body still burns the fat. You can eat soybean oil too, and canola oil. I know, there go all the people they leaving in droves. You can. But your body, well, yeah, see, look, there they go. I'm so bad. People are like, you're dirty keto. I'm like, well, I'm reasonable keto. You can't avoid every non-healthy fat forever. It's like, life is boring that way.
The better food you put in your body, the better results you get.
Right, and I tend to put good fats in my body. But I still eat Rouse sauces, and they have canola oil, I'm sure.
We don't buy grass-fed beef.
We don't buy grass-fed beef. Like, we have freaking 9 children, people. 9 of them. They all still live here. We have to feed them all. Thank you for super chats so that I can feed my children. I appreciate it. So that this hour and 16 minutes of our time is worth it. We appreciate it. But yeah, so you can be really strict on keto and you can be really loose on keto, but the fact of the matter is that it's all still keto. If you're in ketosis, it's keto. Whether you eat soybean oil or olive oil, your choice. And maybe it's better for your heart and whatever, but your body will still burn it. It will still use it. It can still burn canola and soybean oil. It knows how. It's just not as good for your heart and for everything else. At least that's what people say. But people say a lot of things. Okay, let's see. Just want to make sure there's not anything really super burning important. You didn't like the peanut butter fudge Rebel? Oh, that's disappointing. I haven't tried that one, and it's my favorite enlightened flavor. That's Keto Cricket. Are you a peanut butter fudge type? Like, have you tried the enlightened? Can you compare it to the enlightened? Yeah. No one can afford grass-fed beef. Yeah, well, some people can if you have no kids. Like, seriously.
Well, we could just get one and raise it in the backyard.
We have considered that. Well, we need a fence, and this fence is expensive.
Yeah, it's cheaper to buy beef.
Yes, it is. All right, it looks like I got everybody. Woo! I was so worried we wouldn't get through everybody today. It's been an hour and 18 minutes. I appreciate all of you who are still here. We have a trucking 64 still here and 44 thumbs up. Thank you so much. Oh, you haven't tried the enlightened. Okay, well, you'll have to let me know. You'll have to try it and let me know if it's comparable at all, because I really love the peanut butter chocolate enlightened a lot. Anything?
You think it tastes as good as regular ground beef?
I don't like. We don't.
I don't really know I can't tell the difference. To tell you the truth.
More of the difference comes from the different stores.
Yeah.
So like we buy our ground beef usually from this local store, and I think they get it from a local place. And our bacon as well, we buy from a local store and they get it from a local company. And it tastes really good. Whereas we buy from Walmart, we're always disappointed. And the Walmart beef always has more fat in it.
Yeah,
Always, even if it's labeled the same. So we buy the 8515 or the 9010 or the 937, and you can tell the difference if you cook it in two different pans. The Walmart one always has more fat. I swear they mislabel.
Yeah, I'll cook the 8515 from this local store, and I'll get basically 2 tablespoons of fat.
Yeah,
out of
it's
2
more
pounds.
like the 9010 from Walmart. Or
Yeah,
not the
it's-
9010. They don't even
so,
sell
yeah.
9010. I think it's 937.
Yeah, it's 93.7.
Yeah. So really, I think that it's depends on the store more, like where they get it from, rather than if it was grass fed or not. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's grass fed and we just didn't know.
I don't know.
It's cheap.
That's all.
That's all we care about is if
That's all
it's
that
cheap.
we're after.
Yes, we have a lot of kids and we feed them the ground beef more often. We don't. Dave and I don't do ground beef a lot because I just don't really care for it, and it's higher fat macro than I want to invest in a food. So we do it occasionally, but it's not super awesome. It's not my favorite. I really prefer to do a chicken breast and have oodles of fat on top, because that makes me feel like I'm eating a decadent meal versus a hamburger with some lettuce. If I'm going to do a hamburger, I'll go to Carl's Jr. and order one of theirs. Theirs is 90-10 ground beef. It's really good. Tony Burger is also a really good one if you have a
That's
Tony
a good
Burger
one.
near you. Five Guys is too fatty, but it's delicious. In-N-Out, same thing. Fatty, but good. So if I'm going to go out and eat something on fast food, then I'll have a burger, but it's always too high in fat. It's always too high in fat. Hey, Lloyd! You popped in at the last minute. I'm about to leave. Good to see you. Did you know my mother's maiden name is Lloyd? Fun fact. Now you guys know my mother's maiden name. Yes,
Your
we have
mother's made it.
my mother's
Oh.
maiden name is
Yeah,
Lloyd.
never mind. I'm losing it.
Well, her mother's maiden name was Clausen.
Yeah, that's
Now
right.
you know the real family tree. The Clausens are everywhere. We got like Clausen relatives coming out our eyeballs because back in the day, okay, now you're going to learn some good old Latter-day Saint
history.
Utah history. The Mormons, okay? We're not supposed to say Mormon anymore, but it's just so much easier. It's just so much easier. Hate that. Good old Moses Clausen came here with his wife and settled here in the Utah Valley, and he had himself a passel of chillins, and then he had himself a passel of wives, and then he had himself a passel more of chillins, and so there's like freaking everybody we're related to around here. Dave, thankfully, is not from the Clausen line, I don't think. So sometimes
No.
you just never know for sure.
No.
My own parents, after they were married, found out they were fourth cousins on the Clausen line. That explains a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. We go to a funeral for a friend's dad, and all of our like cousins are there, and I'm like, "Why are you guys here?" And they're like, "We're related to this guy," and I'm like, "We're what? This is my son's friend from like school." Who knew? It's the weirdest thing. So when my kids start dating someone seriously, like my son Sullivan is dating this adorable girl named Loretta. She is freaking adorable. She is the youngest of 13 children. Her mother puts me to shame. They're from Michigan and Canada area. And some of her siblings are in Indiana and some of them are here. Anyway, my son is dating this adorable girl. And the first thing I asked her is like, okay, go back in your genetic history and make sure we're not related, because you just never know. Right?
No.
And they weren't. Thank goodness, because I really think they're going to get married. She's adorable. I love her so much. I'm so happy she's dating my son. And if you guys know me at all, okay, if anyone in real life that knows me, I hate everyone who likes my kids. Hate with a passion. Every person who likes my kids. They're never good enough. I am so picky. And I fell in love with this girl before I even knew who she was. Before I even met her, she just comes in our house and is so comfortable here, and she just fits in like one of the family, and she helps me, and she helps me with the homeschool, and she's fascinated with the girls, and she loves hanging out with them. Oh my gosh. She's an angel. An absolute angel. I only can hope that all of my kids will find someone so awesome and so loving and so sweet. And my kid totally cut his whole thumb open last night at work, and she's the one who took care of him. She went to the hospital with him. She kept me updated. They were having a contest to see who could text me the fastest. of
he's
how
down
many
a thumb.
stitches. And yeah, he's down a thumb. He actually won though, because he was in a contest with her. And she asked me if she could slap him, and I said yes. I love her.
Oh, yeah.
She's awesome. Though that is the one child of mine who has never been smacked. Never, right? I don't think I've ever spanked him once. He is way too sensitive. It would break him into a million pieces. He's just too sensitive. Now, my 16-year-old, I've given that kid a lot of good whacks. And it never knocks him down. He's like stoic tree. Kids are so different. All right. Oh my gosh, we're still talking. Why are we still talking? I want to just keep talking forever. I don't want it to be over, but it needs to be over. We need to go like take care of our kids and all of that.
Smack him.
We're not going to smack them, but they probably haven't done anything this hour because we didn't yell at him and tell him to before we started. And Dave's got to go take Phineas out to fly the drone and get some snow drone footage because now the weather is better. It's not snowing today? Is it not snowing?
Nope.
It has been snowing so much. So we're hoping to get some cool drone footage for the other channel. So if you made it this far and you aren't on the live chat, bless you. Bless you, bless you. Let's see, what emoji should we do? How about a king? A chef. A chef emoji for Chef Dave. In the comment section. He hardly said anything. I'm going to get all these comments. Tamara, you need to shut up and let your husband speak. Right?
Yeah.
He's just so quiet. He's so quiet. Oh, see, she's already putting a chef in there.
Right.
Thanks, Angela. All right. Thank you all. We love you so much. We'll talk to you again soon.